Hello, everybody. I am Catherine Buffy, and this is Stories from the Stage, an interview series that takes a peek behind the curtain to introduce us to the folks that make theater magic happen in the Inland Empire and on the Redlands Footlighters stage. And today I'm very excited to talk with my friend and colleague, Christopher Diehl. Hello, Chris.
Hi, Buffy. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. So I want to start with a broad picture question. How many shows over the years, both with acting and directing, since you inhabit both roles, have you been a part of? Just a rough number.
I would say the number of shows that I've been a part of, either directing or acting, and I'll even throw in, just other stuff that I've done behind the scenes. I've, been in the tech booth and stuff like that. Probably over 100, I would say, easily. I have a running list on my computer, just to keep track of my credits. But I'd say directing and acting at least close to 100.
Mm. So you have a wealth of experience for these next few questions. So that's quite a number of shows per year. And what is it that draws you to a particular show, either as an actor or director? And maybe it's two different answers. So let's start with what draws you as an actor to a particular show?
Well, sometimes it's as simple as somebody asks you to, hey, look at this script and see if you like it. I'm directing it, and I'd love to see you audition. Or and I've had auditions and didn't find somebody, that kind of thing. But when it comes to an actual script, I look for something. As an actor, I look for something that I could do, that I could bring. If there's a character that speaks to me, usually there's a character that would speak to me and say, oh, I could do this part. The life experiences that have brought me to this place, I feel like I can bring something. Or it might be something that is the opposite, where you just look at something and say, oh, I've never done anything like that. This is so completely different from myself. It would be maybe a fun challenge to try to do that. So that's the kind of thing that I look for, and also the bigger picture, not just my own character and what characters respond to me, but the story as a whole. What was the author trying to say, and does it speak to me, and is it something that I want to do, that I feel is can bring something to the table. And especially now when I read plays, with everything that's going on in the world, you almost want there to be a higher purpose than just entertainment. So that's some of the things that I look for.
And how does your answer to that question shift if you think about it from the perspective of taking on a project as a director?
Yeah, that's just about really looking at the whole picture, where you're not just, I'm not just focused on what I can do in it, but can I relay the playwright's intentions to the stage? I always go for what is the author trying to say, and how can I best bring that to the stage, and how can I best tell that story that the author is trying to tell. Because for a book, it's the writer writes a story and you read it, and that's it. But for a play, a playwright needs a director. It needs an actor. It needs all those other things to tell their story. And so I look at it as, am I somebody who can tell that story? And am I the best person? If I've taken myself out of consideration for some plays when I felt like maybe I wasn't the best person to tell that story, or maybe there's somebody better that can do it. I look at myself and I see what I can bring to that story, and how I can best tell the author's story on the stage.
What do you think the secret to being a great director is. You have the perspective both as an actor and as a director with so much experience in both realms. What is the overlap? What do you see the secret for a director, if there is one?
For me, it's about getting everybody on the same page, uh, making sure that everybody adheres to your vision, because I really do think it has to be one vision. You can have a play where you have people. I think we've all seen these plays where it really does seem like everybody's in their own play, and that's probably what I think is the secret to being a good director. Knowing what it's kind of like being a teacher in some respects, because there's no one size fits all approach. You have to be able to look at your cast and see what each individual person might need from you. There's some people that really, really need a lot of guidance, and they really love to get direction, love to get criticism, love to get notes. And some people, not so much. So you really have to, I think it's good to see everybody in your show as an individual and what they need from you, and making sure that everyone understands what you're going for this play, what your vision is, so that there is one singular vision when the show actually is up.
So you've worked in different theaters around the Inland Empire and perhaps beyond. So what would you say the differences are, both from the acting and directing, when you're in someone else's theater home? What is it like to work in different spaces across the region?
Working in different theaters is always a great thing. I really love to branch out and see. There's so many different things about it. Every theater has kind of their own audience. They have people behind the scenes. It's good. It's always good to know really what each theater board is looking for in their productions. It's good to know the community that you're serving. And it's always just interesting to work in different spaces, like literal spaces. With Footlighters is a great example, because there's no other. I can't think of another theater that has quite, at least in the Inland Empire, that has that is a venue that's like Footlighters, where you have this kind of stadium seating with the sets on the two sides, and there's definitely a challenge to that, as compared to proscenium and working in the round, and it's great. I think every director should get out of working at the same theater all the time. It's great to get out and work at different theaters. It really helps, I think, your craft for sure.
Some people, when they talk about theater and why they do this, because this is on top of our day jobs.
Yeah.
We add this to our life. Some people use the language of addiction, of being hooked. What is it about this work that makes the amount of time that these shows take in your life a pleasure? What draws you? What is the magic?
The magic of theater. Wow. I think I think it really is just being able to tell a story. Whether you're a director, whether you're an actor, you're telling a story, and there's that immediate response, because there's a lot of different ways to tell stories, but with theater, you get that immediate response from the audience, and that can be rather addictive. I think that's probably what so many people are missing now in the age of COVID, is just that immediate response. Everything's on computers, and you just don't get it in the same way. Bringing the audience into it changes everything, and it makes it so much more exciting and so much more fulfilling, and it really, I think it is all about the audience, and that just immediate response and being able to affect an audience right then and there. That's powerful. That's a really powerful tool to have. Yeah, it can be it can be addictive, but I also think it's very powerful and very exciting, and I think that's why we do it.
Is there a show that you have been longing to produce as a director that you're just waiting for the right moment to bring it to life?
Yeah, I feel like I get asked that a lot as far as, especially, with roles. Honestly, there really isn't that one show that I feel like I have to do. So many times I find projects that I didn't even know about. Sometimes things just fall into your lap, or somebody says, "Hey, read this. What do you think?" Or you hear about a theater starting a season, and you say, "I've never heard of that show before. Let me look it up." And suddenly I have to direct this. So yeah, I there are things that, yeah, I'd probably love to get to do someday. I think about Angels in America, part 1 and 2, that I got to act in Orange County about 10 years ago, the first part anyway. And I remember seeing that on Broadway when when it first came out, and it really affected me greatly. And I think about, I'd love to put my stamp on that as a director maybe one day. But yeah, I just kind of like to keep my options open, and I don't really focus on, oh, I have to do this one day. I don't really have a bucket list. I just kind of like to see what comes up, and yeah, keep my options open.
Well, as we close out this conversation, Chris, I wonder if you would be willing to participate in a little quiz.
Sure.
In of our interviews, I try to have a fun little quiz. Just answer off the top of your head. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just us getting to know a little bit more about the person who is Chris Diehl. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, we'll start with an easy-ish one. Favorite kind of sandwich?
Probably say like a club sandwich, turkey club, something like that. I OD'd on them when I was a dishwasher at a restaurant in high school, and I couldn't eat them for about 10 years because I had one every day. But I've kind of gotten back to them. So yeah, I love a good turkey club.
Can't beat it.
Mm-mm.
Your favorite holiday?
Christmas, easily. But Thanksgiving is a close second.
They tend to run together, don't they?
Yeah, especially now. Yeah. I try to keep them separate.
Books or movies?
Books, as much as I love movies.
Museums or gardens?
Museums.
Clowns or mimes?
I'll say clowns, just because I happen to know a clown when I was a kid. He went to our church. His name was Skip Bo the Clown, and that was his job. I loved the guy. So I always have a soft spot for clowns because of him.
Nice.
Not Pennywise.
Thanks for bringing clowns back around to a popular place in the world.
Yes.
About how many coffee cups are in your home right now?
I think 8, probably.
How many music albums or CDs?
Oh my goodness. Maybe 200. It's sad because I don't look at them as much. I just started kind of getting back into looking at CDs again, or playing CDs again. But it's just kind of like my DVDs. Like, so much is by streaming now, and you can just easily go on iTunes and stuff. But I love a good old fashioned CD. I love a good old, hard to believe, can't call them old fashioned really, but I guess they are now. So yeah, old fashioned media. I love that.
I'm with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
If your life were made into a blockbuster movie, what would the title be?
I can't see my life being a blockbuster movie. I could see it maybe being a small little independent film, but
all right, go with that. Go with that. What would we call it?
Oh, that's tough. maybe oh, that's tough. Let me get back to that one.
Fair enough.
I was here. I don't know.
I was here, colon, I couldn't decide.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Mhm.
When this pandemic is really and for trues over, what is the first thing you want to do?
I think I would love to just be in a crowd. You know, as much as I used to say, oh, I hate crowds, but I miss that. You know, recently I just watched my DVD of Mamma Mia that I directed last year. Just seeing the theater packed and seeing everybody standing up and dancing together, and it was kind of emotional watching it. So yeah, I would love to just be in a theater, be in a crowded theater, and watching a play with a bunch of people and laughing all together, and that would be heavenly.
It would. It would be nice
Hmm.
to sit together and to be able to turn to each other and see each other's faces fully laughing,
Yes.
crying, or whatever it is.
Exactly. I miss that.
I do too. Well, I'll be there with you, Chris, wherever it is.
Good. Good. It's a date.
Well, thank you for doing this.
Oh, thank you so much. It was nice. It went fast.